is already in the room, so it's a good time to introduce yourself. I'm not seeing any introduction in the chats. Right. Please, we need to have a feel of who is in the room. Who are we speaking to? Are we speaking to product managers? Are we speaking to full stack developers? Are we speaking to data analysts? Or we're just speaking to someone that is interested in the global talent visa? Right. So let's know who is in the room. Kindly introduce yourself. Feel free to share your LinkedIn profile. Feel free to tell us where you're joining from. If it's your first time with us at eMigr8, you're welcome. If you're a return subscriber, if you've been here before, thanks for coming back. Hope you are progressing nicely on your journey. We usually have gifts. Hope you used the last one. If you stay to the end of the call, we have gift for you. All right. we have gifts for you at the end of the call that you can leverage. Right. We have Deepak, who is our coach for today. He is joining from London. Thank you, Deepak. All right. While I'm waiting, I would do a bit of introduction. Um, so a bit of housekeeping. Our coach is going to be running through his journey and sharing a lot of information. For Q&A, please drop your questions in the chat. Use the chats. The chat room is where we used to do all of our interaction. So introduce yourself in the chat room. Use the chat functionality. Right. And when we get to Q&A, please drop your questions. And we are going to be answering the first questions first. Right. As the questions come in, we're going to be offering answers. But don't wait to Q&A to ask your question. If anything comes to mind, please drop it in the chat so that you don't forget. I will do it to answer as much question or as many questions as time will permit us. Time is the only limitation we have on this call. We could talk to you for days, if not for time. Right. So because we are limited in time, please drop your questions, be interactive as much as possible. And yeah, we would take it from there. All right. Give me a minute. All right. Thumbs up if you can see my screen. Thank you. Nice, nice. eMigr8, who are we and what do we do? We're a global talent mobility platform. From visa planning to long-term settlement is what we do at eMigr8, right? We do this open day session every other 2 weeks now, every other week in the month, right? Twice a month, right? Just to give you information to enrich you with information that you can leverage. Today we have an AI expert in the house who is going to be teaching us or informing us about the AI expert guide to the Global Talent Visa. He's also an ambassador of the Global Talent Visa. Right, his name is Deepak. He's already in the room. He has already introduced himself and is joining from London today. Right, we also have the eMigr8 AI coach in the house today. So we're going to be leveraging and hearing from Deepak and also information from the eMigr8 AI coach. Right. Like I said, we've done this a couple of times. The benefits is that we are giving gift at the end of the call that you can use towards your journey. Right. And also, these are informations that you can find, right, and you can verify. We're not going to show you anything that is not verifiable. These are information that are verifiable. We do have lots of videos on YouTube and on our app. So if you have our app, or if you don't have our app, please download the app. There are a lot of information. We have a lot of recordings there. We also put like inform you through the app and through our social media platform of sessions that are coming up. Right, we've done previous sessions on the UK, on France, on Portugal, and we also have sessions coming up where we're going to be talking about moving to Portugal as a global as a talent, not as a global talent now, as a talent. We also have moving to the UK as a global talent. I talked about having recordings and replay videos available on our YouTube channel and our app. So from Canada to the United States to France, we've explored visa opportunities visa opportunity leveraging tech across those spectrums. So if you're looking for information, please, we recommend you go through our app and through our YouTube account. Right? Migrate is emigrate. If you are on your journey and you're finding it difficult or you have questions, we invite you to, migrate with eMigr8. It starts by simply going to the eMigr8visa.com/tech visas landing page. Let us know who you are and what information you seek, and we're able to give you context. We are able to give you perspective. We're able to give you information, and we're able to work with you from roadmap to actually long-term stay in your country of choice. Right, our apps are available on Google Play Store, Apple Store, Apple Play Store. It's also available via our app. You can see via our website. You can see the link there via web. We also have a community on WhatsApp, Telegram, and you can join on eMigr8.ai also. We do have various packages within our platform. One of it is the Settle in the UK as a tech talent. Right, these combine multiple pathways together to give you a shot at settling or migrating into the UK. This is particularly now positioned for those of us, or for those of you who are in the UK already and looking to switch visas. Right, this is a perfect if you're on a tier 1 visa or on a tier 2 visa and you're looking to switch. If you're on a tier 4 visa or a tier 5 visa and you're looking to switch to tier 1 visa, which is the global talent visa, right, you can leverage the Settle in the UK platform as a tech talent. If you are outside of the UK and you're looking to come into the UK and you have a startup, you have a business idea, you've worked in tech for upward of 3 years, you can also leverage Settle in the UK as a tech talent. If you're a beginner and you're just wondering how do I settle in the UK, you can reach us through the numbers on this slide or via our website, eMigr8 Visa, eMigr8 with an 8, visa.com, right? And we can have a conversation and draw a plan, a roadmap, right, with a North Star of getting you settled in the UK. So take advantage of this package. Is running at the moment and won't be around for too long. What is eMigr8? We've talked about it initially. What do? We help you become globally attractive. Right. We help you appraise your tech profile. We help you appraise your tech enabled business profile. We help you become globally attractive. And for us, the side effects of being globally attractive is that visas will be issued to you. Countries, nations, ecosystem will invite you into their midst, into their economy, into their society to contribute, either by closing the shortage gap that they have. Most of the big fours, most of the big eight, G8 countries, G20 countries, any of the G you want to talk about, have series of gaps within their ecosystem, within their economy that they are trying to close. One of it is in the AI space, right? All of the big G8 company, whether you're talking about the US or you're talking about the UK, right? They are looking for tech experts who are vast in AI at the moment, who can interpret data, right? And they will give you a visa if you can prove beyond reasonable doubt by the works that you have done in the past, which mean by your tech profile, by your portfolio, right? They would be glad most of the time to issue you a visa to come in and close the shortage gap, or issue you a visa to come in to start your own startup or move your ideas into their economy, take up the opportunity to employ people within the economy, and empower their citizens who in turn pay taxes. So it's a win-win situation for everyone, right? So don't be shy to apply for those opportunities. Don't rule yourself out of this opportunity, because countries are intentionally looking for people with the right skill set that can come in either to close the shortage gap or to invest in their economy by building a startup and closing the and employing people, closing the unemployment gap also. Right. If you want to start, if you're on the call and you're like, okay, where do I begin from? We have a free assessment tool. It's called architect.emigrate visa.com. That's the way you want to go to. Dr. Zenith is the name. Right. If you go to architect.emigrate emigrate again with an 8.com, you will find a platform where you can upload your profile and we can appraise you if you are good to apply for any of the visa opportunities. So if you go there, we are appraising you for the Global Talent Visa, we are appraising you for the US O1 um, visa, and also the French passport visa and the German Blue card. Right. So if you are wondering where to start, that is a perfect way to start. You can sign up with your CV, you can sign up with your LinkedIn, we can appraise that. Um, a slight disclaimer: we are not immigration experts, we are not lawyers, right? What we give here is shared and lived experiences, right? Our coaches are folks that have applied for the Global Talent visas and they've gotten endorsement and they've moved to the UK, or they've moved to the US, or they moved to Canada. So they are sharing their journey with you. The session promises to be inspiring because you're going to be hearing about their story. It promises also to be informative because you're going to hear about the information, how they leverage the informations that they have to get to where they are. Right. So this is not a legal session or an immigration advice session. This is a session where we are providing you information, we're providing you insights, we're providing you guidance, we're providing you coaching, and we're providing support if you choose to stay with us after this session, right? Um, some of the package we do have, just this is not an exhaustive list. We speak to startup visa, we speak to talent visa, particularly around tech at the moment. We speak to employment-based visa, right? So in the UK, they call it the tier 2 visa, work visa. We speak to the digital nomad visa. So countries like Malta, Portugal, oftentimes issue you digital nomad visa that allow you stay legally in their country and work in any of the firms or work in a tech company or any of the firm in Malta or in Portugal, right? We also speak to other kinds of visa that are not listed here. So there are others. If you're exploring the blue card, we can speak to it. If you're exploring the UK self-sponsorship route, we have coaches that can mentor you or can coach you through the process. The countries are UK, the US, Canada, France, Germany, Australia. And again, it's not an exhaustive list because there's no Portugal here, there's no Spain here, there's no Malta here, right? And we can speak to those countries as well. You can take a screenshot of this slide and do your findings and your research, or any of the visa type that you can see on this slide. You will find loads of information around them. If you have questions, you can come on our ecosystem, join our community and ask the question, and we are open to provide you as much answers as we have, right? 85% of what we do is free on our ecosystem, so we're happy to answer any question you have. What does our service covers? If you're asking, general information sessions like this, general inquiry session like this, so use the chat. I'm seeing some messages on the chat already. Use the chat to ask questions, use the chat to ask your inquiry. We do have coaching and hand-holding session. We do have assessment sessions. We have roadmap sessions. We also do review the UK Global Talent application and also endorsement review process. If you have applied and you didn't get a favorable response and you want to appeal, We have coaches that can advise on how to go about that, right? However, because we know that the ecosystem is filled with uniqueness, we know that some people want to build the experience around their uniqueness, around their work, around their availability. We do have premium sessions. We do have premium packages also, which is a personalized coaching session that we can walk through. The Emigrate Circle, which is a premium community, right? And also we do introductions, we do custom service. These are all broken down into three pillars, right? These are all broken down into pillars. With the first pillar is the do-it-yourself. So you can come into our ecosystem, take all of the information that we're going to give you today, and all of the information that is on our app, and you decide to apply it yourself, which is fantastic. We have success stories of people doing that. You can also take all the information and say, I want to work with a coach, which is do it with me, right? And we will have a coach assigned to you and walk through the journey with you, right? Which is also fantastic. We have a lot of success stories from people who have leveraged that opportunity. We also have the do it for me. The do it for me is you're working with a coach and you're working with a team of individuals who are going to be helping with logistics. They're not going to apply on your behalf. They're just going to be providing certain logistics for you, which we can define when you come in into our ecosystem. We also have success stories in that category. Any of the category that you choose to work with, it is fine, right? All we ask is go to emigrate.com/tech so that we get to meet you, we get to know you, and we can advise on your journey. Like I said, if you are on the call till the end, we do have gifts that can also impact on your journey. Right. I've spoken about our packages, so I would not label this. We do have Move to the UK as a global talent, Move to the UK as an innovator founder, and Move to the UK, Move to the US as global talent. So all of these are packages that you can subscribe to, right? And if you're looking at the Self Start UK route, we do have packages around that also. Settle in the UK as a tech talent, I talked about that in the beginning, which combines multiple opportunities together, multiple routes. So talking about the UK Global Talent, Innovator Founder Visa, and the UK Skilled Worker Visa combined together in one package. Um, it's almost triple guaranteed that one of them will come through if you go for that package. So feel free to send us a direct message while we're on this call, or after the call, we would be available to uh, you know take you through all of those packages and explain them in detail. But for time, like I said in the beginning, the only limitation we have is the time constraint. So please do reach out and we will be able to explain in more detail to you. Please choose your package. Like I spoke about the do it yourself, we do have, which is a free offering, right? We do have visa specific information. We have a community that you can leverage on WhatsApp and on Telegram. We have templates, we have recordings, we have checklists, we have resources on YouTube and on our app that is open to you that you can use. We also do have short coaching sessions that we give out from time to time. Terms and conditions do apply, right? We also have basic AI assistants that you can use. Like I said, we've had success stories of people taking this information and applying themselves. Um, they do it yourself with the Emigrate Circle. This is the premium circle, right? We also have more information for you. Personalized coaching is included there. We have the premium AI agents and the personalized AI guide included in that package. Then the Do It With Me and the Do It For Me package has everything apart from, you know, end-to-end logistic, which is only available for the Do It For Me, right? So take advantage of any of the packages, any of the if we are flexible, right? You can start with the do it yourself and decide to move to do it with me at some point if you need any assistance. So we are very flexible. Our goal, is to make you globally attractive. Because if you are globally attractive, all of the countries I've talked about, that is France, so that is the US, so that is the UK, would invite you over, we endorse you, we give you a visa to come into their ecosystem to set up. Right. And again, I'm going to direct you to our app for more information. I've spoken briefly about certain information. Details of these informations are in the app, right? If you go to your app stores, either Google or Apple, you'll find us there. It's eMigr8 Tech Visa, or eMigr8. You'll find us there. If you go to emigratvisa.com/tech visa, that is our website. You'll find us there. You'll find a lot more information. Right. I know we're itching to hear from the AI experts, right, on global talent and his journey. So I'm going to invite him shortly to come up and speak to us about his journey and how he leverage AI. But remember that he's globally attractive, right? So everything he's going to be speaking to is going to be speaking to the fact that he built an attractive profile. It's going to be built rich resume, right? And he leveraged that to get his endorsement. So while he's speaking, please take the time to think about the thoughts, ask questions where you're not clear, use the chat room. The chat room is where we do all of our interactions. So use the chat room to ask questions, right? And we would take as many questions as possible. Hi, Deepak.
Hello, hello. Good evening.
Hi, good evening. So I'm going to stop sharing now and give you the floor, right, to proceed. Thank you for being here. It's good to have you.
Happy to be here.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining in. Happy to help support fellow technician alumni, helping the community as how we grow. And if not help each other, who will we help? All right. Can I start, Moody? Anything else for me to do?
It's fine. Yeah. You can start. The
Right,
floor is
because
yours.
usually what they do is they highlight the profile and spotlight for everyone. Do you want to do that or just start like this?
No, we are more very generic, so we can
I just
start.
like the
Yeah,
ego boosted sometimes. That's all.
yeah. Let me
Lovely.
spotlight, but yeah.
So thank you everyone for joining in. My name is Deepak Paramanand, originally from India, as you can guess. So I got the visa back in 21, I think, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And I have got the settlement now, I've got a British passport now, so settled here in the UK. So my journey is quite unusual. Thank you. That's what I was thinking, spotlighting. So I was working in the US before coming here. So I was there in the US from 2012 to 2018, and then I moved over here to work with Microsoft. And Microsoft job was there 2018 to 2020. And during that time, I was leaving Microsoft, I was looking for a job. And when I was looking for a job, it is one of the recruiters who told me, hey, why don't you apply for this global talent visa? And I asked the recruiter, what do you mean? He said, you don't know? Said, no, I don't know. Okay, so your kind of profile, you don't need to, be dependent on an employer. You can get this visa and you can be independent on your own. Then I said, no, tell me more. I said, oh, look, man, I have 4 or 5 people who got the visa before, so I know about it. Go search for it. Go look for a global talent visa. So I looked, and just like you might have felt the first time, I was really intimidated. I mean, maybe Isaac Newton or Stephen Hawking or some of them would qualify, not me. So I was like, yeah, not for me. I'll just ignore it. And then, I started carrying on. I got another job and I moved on. And then suddenly, because it is always playing in my mind, like why sacrifice something that can give you immediate settlement, and why not? Why not give it a shot? So I think it was 2020, I think, 2020, 2021, someday, Global Talent came out with a notification saying the criteria for visa is changing in 31 days. I remember that email that came out. So I think I got that email around October 30th, and they said November 30th, the criteria was going to change. So I was like, okay, I have 30 days to write my visa application, right? And let's go for it. Oh man, it was a pain. It was a huge struggle to do this. And I was like, well, it's make it or break it. It's 30 days, either I write an application or I don't. So what I remember is I'm the kind of guy who doesn't leave anything to destiny, doesn't leave anything to luck. I don't believe in luck. And as immigrants, we think the same way. We make our own luck. We manifest our own truth, we manifest our own reality, and we manifest our own fate. So I said, well, I'm going to write the application. And it's this nagging thought to say you can't qualify, it's too hard. So, can't do that. But I said, well, you know what? Well, let me try. So I almost the same application as of now. Some mandatory criteria has changed here and there, but back in the day it was still the same. You have to write a statement of purpose, why you want the visa. You have to have a CV. You have to have 3 recommendations and 10 evidence criteria, mandatory and non-mandatory. So what I remember distinctly is all that added up to 45 pages. Right. So what I knew was I could as a maximum evidence submit 45 pages. I submitted 45 pages. I did not want to leave half a page blank, half a font here and there. If you read my application, it was the most text and stuff ever written. And you lot have now the feature of benefit of using AI. I didn't have any of that. I wrote all of it. I wrote 45 pages worth of stuff to get the visa. So how did I go about it? So here's my view, not a official view. This is just how I think about it, right? So when I applied for the visa, when I thought for the visa, the main thing that struck to me was my CV was the central point of focus. If my CV wasn't telling the story, nothing I say will ever matter. So my CV was the most important thing. So again, the CV was, I suppose, 2 pages. I suppose it's the same thing now. So I made sure that my CV was 2 pages, and I made sure that every sentence, if I could substantiate it, had a commercial dollar value impact. And if a sentence did not have a commercial dollar impact, the sentence was not in the CV. Right. Now, I would have liked to have revenue. I would have liked to have cost saving. Sometimes you couldn't get. Like, for example, the Microsoft job was not revenue, was not cost saving. It is simply gaining adoption for Microsoft. It is also about testing and trying AI applications for Microsoft on consumer grade apps, on phones, on consumer devices. So the criteria there wasn't as much, how much revenue, but how much engagement, how much delight did I result. So I wrote my CV, I rewrote my CV, and I would say CV spent, I think, about 20% of my time, right? Because that is the most important part. Finally got my CV ready. And the best way to think about, from my point of view, was if I double clicked on any aspect of my CV, it should land on my recommendations. That's my first layer of defense, to say, okay, my recommendations are there. And if you double clicked on the recommendations, it should go to the evidence. And my view was to prove to technician I was awesome, I needed somebody else who is already awesome to say that I was awesome. It's a word salad there. But basically what I'm saying is, why would technician believe me? It's easier to believe me if they have the ability to verify me through someone else who's already quite awesome and good at what they do. So then I chose people who could vouch for me. So I chose one person from Microsoft, my director of responsible AI, my previous company CEO, and my previous boss. So I chose them. Those were the mandatory criteria. And again, remember, they spoke to facets of my life. I could financially, I could commercially, defend. Of course, they're busy and I had a tight deadline. So I wrote the application for them, at least the initial bits in my own words. And I said, here are the points I'm going to cover. And I pleaded with them to say, please do not say yes to it because it should be in your language, not mine. They'll figure it out. They have enough people to know it's written by me. But at least giving you the bullet points about what I'm highlighting. That helped them, because rather than having to copy paste what I did, giving them talking points was essential. And I also had written the bullet points in such a sequence that they could showcase my journey. Like, the Disney movie, the hero's journey, the hero has a challenge, the hero rises to the occasion and then achieves something, so on and so forth. So I made sure that it reflected their journey to say, I started off here, learn some experiences, then I got to this point. So every recommendation was start here, go there, start here, go there, that manner. So that was the first point. And then based on that, I wrote my statement of purpose to say, what am I going to do here, right? Now, obviously, you come here to start on your own, right? But you should also be pragmatic to say, can you start on your own immediately? Do you have family? Do you have other obligations? So I was honest. I didn't tell them I was going to land here at day one, I'm going to form a company. I was already here. I was already here in the UK, working for some other company, and I could be realistic about it. So I told truthfully to say, look, my opportunity is eventually to form a company in AI, but I want to be financially stable and get to this point. You'll be pleased to know, 2 years ago, I did form my company. Right now, I'm actually contracting on the side to put time and energy into my own company. So I did achieve what I set out to achieve. I'm very happy with that. So my statement of purpose was truthful. It was to the point. Now came the point of evidence, right? Now, again, when they say it's a mandatory criteria, it's a mandatory criteria. If it's a non-mandatory, it's not mandatory for a reason. So you have to ensure you put your energy in the right place, right? So what I did was all the aspects where I chose, again, this is my view, not you should follow. Wherever I had direct revenue impact, I chose to bring in as much evidence as I could, emails or references from my previous employers to say, look, I told you I gained so much revenue. Here is the email to substantiate that. Wherever I could, I chose Google Play screenshots. Like I was a product manager online. If people liked a feature that I shipped, I gave those screenshots to give as evidence. And wherever I couldn't do that, I just had one more person from the company write a letter to say, I can't give direct evidence to the revenue impact, but I can write a letter to state that it was there. Again, it is not conventional. People were like, okay, you should only have 3 people talking about it, and they should not talk about your visa anywhere else in the evidence. I chose to beg to differ. So I said, okay, I'm going to have 2 or 3 more people as mandatory evidence where I couldn't justify the revenue impact. I did that. Now the question became, how was I a thought leader? How was I doing what I was doing and succeeding and doing something out of my job? Luckily for me, I did do a lot of professional speaking. I did have a lot of impact before that. So just a matter of taking screenshots, providing evidence, ensuring that all the data was documented. Now, to me, this was not as impactful as revenue or as income or cost saving or impact. It was necessary but not important to me. So I chose to keep this in the non-mandatory criteria section, right? So I had screenshots, I had all the evidences that I had to support. So I put it in there. So going back to what I did, just to recap, first the CV, get it bulletproof, then get the recommendations. And the way to think about this is my CV should be the topmost document, double click into my evidence and double click into my evidences, almost like a mind map. After you write your recommendations, then a statement emerges to say, so what can you do? What can you do for the UK economy? What repeatable, scalable skills do you have that you can bring here and conquer the world? So I submitted my application. But before that, here are 3 questions I asked myself, which you should also think about. One was, what commercial impact did I have in my current role, either in the US, in the UK, or India? Question number 1. How can I say that I have transferable skills to have the same impact after I get the visa? Because remember, UK gives you the visa for impact so that you will create impact for them in the UK economy. So you have to prove that you can do it. And third thing is, even if that impact, you starting a company fails, would you have enough skills and talent to be employed as a person and contribute to the economy, if not found something on your own, right? Do you have a plan A and plan B? So my statement was literally that, to say, okay, I've done this. I have these repeatable, transferable skills. And because of which, if I do, these things for the UK economy, I should be able to succeed. And that was my application to say, and this is why I think you should give me the visa. So I submitted it on October 29th or November 29th or November, it was a Thursday. And I think Monday afternoon, I got the visa. Bated breath. I was waiting, bated breath. Because Friday end of the day was the last application day. So I was like, oh my God, I finished it, right? So, I got the visa, life is good after that. I'm settled here now. So now I work as the global ambassador for AIML. And I go on these forums, talk about the attractiveness of the visa and why AIML folks should come over here and work here, and what's my experience of building AIML here. So there's a joke in the Americas that New York is a year behind Silicon Valley and London is a year behind New York because it's geography and whatnot. That's not true anymore. I'm an advisor to a synthetic data company, and the CEO was like, kids in India are teaching MMCP, cheaper, faster, better, than kids in Silicon Valley are. And they're Boston based. They have no reason to talk to people in India. But AI and knowledge is not democratized. If you have the agency, the skill, and the desire to go learn, you cannot hear anything else, and you cannot stop for permission. Moody is a little optimistic. I love that. DeepMind is from here for sure, right? The first Enigma code was broken here. So there's any evidence of algorithmic ability first displayed, it was in the UK. Make no bones about it, right? And so I believe that. And nowadays, after Gen AI, I don't see that much of a difference. Yes, Silicon Valley, I won't say it's a year behind. I would say 2 to 3 months, if nothing else. But it's not at all the case that they're far behind now. So this remains a very attractive place to come, to work, to be here, to help out, to grow, to settle down. So I will say that. And as one of the last things I'll say before I end my session is the following, right? What advice do I give to people? You must rely on your commercial impact. That is very, very important, because your own commercial impact, the more bulletproof you are, the more critical you are about your own profile and the impact you've driven, the better it is for you. It'll just give you confidence, right? And the second thing I think immigrants miss out, both from India, Nigeria, other places, is contextualizing what they've done. So I'll give you an example. In India, hiring a maid is ridiculously hard. Ridiculously hard. So they are known to not be regular, not be disciplined, and hiring a maid is just insanely hard. Now a company in India has made that easier. And if the idea I tell you is ridiculously simple, it is, but execution was a problem. So what they said was, why hire Deepak as the housemaid? Hire this person from this company as the maid. And if Deepak doesn't show up, John will, or Jenny will, or somebody else will, right? So they solve the problem of finding people to do chores around the house, right? They're a successful company, they're well funded. So if you were a person like that, who founded a company like that, worked in a company like that, creational impact, you can't literally say, I'll take that job and I come here and I'll apply the V skills and succeed. Because guess what? There is no company like that in the UK. There's not even a need. There might be a need, but not a burning need as in India. So then it is your job to contextualize your work in terms of the UK economy, in terms of the UK demands, and then write it down in the application and prove to the visa reviewers why your skills of working in such a thing, personalized and customized for your country, for your industry, is a transferable skill over here. Because if you simply say, I've done this amazing job in the UK, in Nigeria, in India, and I've raised 1 million, so what? How are you telling me you can do something similar here? Because what you have a problem there is not a problem here. For example, now this might not be appropriate, but if you say we are very good at rainwater harvesting, well, it rains all the time. Yes, the last 1 month has not been good, but generally it does. So rainwater harvesting is not a problem these guys have. We don't have that problem. So you can't say, oh, I'll come and solve the rain harvester problem here and change the demographics and change the ecology of the UK. So what can you do? What contextualization can you apply to make your job, your experience relevant to this place is my view. Here's my last view. All right. I am the AI guy. I'm the global AI ambassador. So this advice might seem contrary to you. Please don't use AI to write your application. We find out, we know, right? And that is not good. Why would you leave your own profile to some LLM's ability to regurgitate nonsense? Yes, use it to critique, use it to edit. Do not use it to write because we'll find out. And that's just a shame. If you wanted to hire an AI, we would, we could, and we can. You want to hire a human. You want to give a skill to a human. Because when you come here with all your agency, your drive, your ambition, your passion, you make the world a better place. Hell, because I'm here now, because I'm hiring here, Global Visa made an estimate that I've added it is 100 million pounds to the UK economy. 10 is too much. I would safely say 10 million is a good enough number. And that's in 6 years. Why? Because I'm here, I'm hiring here. Because I'm here, people are hiring me from all over the world and paying me here because I don't want to move anywhere else. I am being contracted from the US, from India, from Dubai, from Africa, from wherever else because I'm here, because I'm embedded in the ecosystem of the smart people here. So they pay me where I am. They don't pay me to come where they want me to come. So this is the place to come. So do your best, do your personal best, do your human best. Use it to critique, no question. It is the best critique you can hire because it is the knowledge of so many applications. But do not use it to write because it loses the flavor. It loses the humanity. It loses the agency, the skill, the passion, and the hard work you've put in, right? So I wouldn't say use the AI to write, but use the AI to edit, to critique. It must be your words. It must be your ambition, your passion that shines through. Right. That was me. That was my short introduction about what I've done and how I got the visa. Happy to answer any questions you guys have. Over to the awesome Moody.
That's so kind. Thank you very much. Thank you for taking us through the session, through your journey. It's interesting you talked about your second advice. Do not use AI to write. So that's interesting because I think everybody on the course should understand the implication of that. But it's also good you mentioned that. Right. But I want to start with the first thing that caught my attention when you were speaking. You said every sentence, all right, must have a dollar or should have a dollar or commercial impact or value, right, in your application. Some of us are back-end engineers, right? We sit and write code. We're not in the commercial, we don't deal with the numbers, we don't know how many people are transacting, we just build the code. How do we build our case, and how do we, build a case for people like us that don't do numbers?
So remember, why would we give a backend person a visa? Because we think the backend person, the person of code, has enough agency and drive to find out why their work matters. So I tell this to Bade as well. He could have been CTO for any company in the world. He could have made millions. Why is Bade or anybody else doing this job? Because they're passionate about it, because they want and care about it. So now Bade's job, your job, everybody's job is to know things beyond your revenue, beyond your job description. So if you can't get the right answer to say, how does my code translate to commercial impact? Does it translate to engagement? Does it translate to retention? Does it translate to growth? Did you make the product faster? Did you reduce the number of bugs? What impact did you have with your code on the product? It may not necessarily deal with, the actual revenue because you're an engineer, which is fine. But I'm saying, how does it help the product eventually? That would be my answer to the question, right? So if you can't find the dollar, what else can you find? Can you find, for example, like I said, can you find latency, right? Can you find bugs reduced? Can you find some other metric that's a good enough proxy to say Because I reduced latency, it led to faster responses. It led to higher engagement. It led to higher retention and led to revenue. Can you ask the question? Can you go find out? Since you're already writing the application, you can still find out. You can still go, find out the information and add the numbers up, because that is what the visa is looking for. I say this again, and I say this before, it is getting harder. It will get harder if you don't apply now, because more and more awesome people from all over the world are coming here. So if you don't have the information, campaign, ask your manager, ask your peers to say, why does my work matter? Why am I doing this? Is it just because I couldn't get any other job? The fact that you guys are all here on this channel means you think what you're doing matters. You're not just some average people sitting out there trying to do your job. You are more than average. You are trying to find out, do things beyond your capacity. So if you can't get to dollars, find other proxies. Find other close enough metrics or numbers that matter and get close to the fact. That's the best answer I can give you, Moti.
It's an awesome answer. It's an awesome answer. It's metrics that shows impact. Dollar is just one of those metrics that show impact. There are other metrics, and I hope somebody is taking note of these responses and these answers. Guys, it's officially the Q&A session, so please drop your question in the chat so that we get to them. Right. I was going to ask you around your. I know you spoke briefly about it. When we are looking at applying, there are optional criteria and mandatory criteria, right? Do you want to speak briefly to which of the optional criteria you applied against, and which of, and how was your mandatory criteria crafted?
Like I said, so optional was optional. I did not pay as much attention to it as mandatory. So, like I said to you, 20% of all my time was my CV. The remaining 30% was my recommendations. The remaining 30% was my mandatory criteria, and 20% only was, non-mandatory or optional, because, it is in that order. So what did I choose for mandatory? What could I naturally prove? Like I said, if I could prove numbers beyond someone saying it, I chose that as mandatory. So I attached, emails from the company, emails to say, look, he did have that impact. Here's the email justification for it, or some screenshot. And sometimes when it was, so that part was covered. And if I said I was a thought leader in AI, I had to prove I was a thought leader in AI. How did I do that? So I attached videos, I attached screenshots, I attached transcripts of what I had spoken with evidence to say I am a thought leader. Now, just because you speak, you're not a thought leader. What you need to show is the journey. Like I said, the hero journey, start here, get there. So I had to present a chronological timeline to say, I started here. So for example, back in the day, before doing AI, I was a BI product manager. And then I was doing identity access management. So I gave a talk at a identity access conference in Chicago to say how enabling Bluetooth on your phone makes doctors more productive. Very catchy title. I had that in there. It was very well received. The video was there. The whole point was using Bluetooth as a doctor moves around in the hospital, you could automatically authenticate them, and depending on which room they are, personalize their experience and pre-populate all the data on their phone ahead of time. So walk into my room, they know I'm Deepak, what condition I am. They go into another room, the separate Bluetooth device, they know who they are, so on and so forth. But I can't say personalized, Bluetooth device monitoring based BI. That would look like a bumbo jumbo. But I chose the right title. And that's what I chose to say, look, my job is accessibility. My job is explaining what I do and showing impact. So the choosing of the title, why I chose that way, why I presented that way, that is also important. Remember, I keep telling you, contextualization. There's a saying in India, if a kid doesn't eat, spoon feed them. So I spoon fed my application. I contextualized the heck out of every single aspect. So I told them, why did I give this talk? Why was it in Chicago? Why did I choose this title? Why did I highlight these things? Who was my audience? Why was that important? What was the effect after that? I got hired for Microsoft after that. because they loved the way I spoke and presented. And the recruiters came up and said, we would love to hire you because you know what you're talking about and you have a whole different way of presenting. I had the email from the recruiter to say that, hey, come and talk to us. So I showed that. Then I spoke at a conference in the UK. Why did I speak about that? So that was about AI, about computer vision. Not only did I just put in my talk there, I contextualized to say, look, now I have grown as a product manager. Now I'm a grown product manager for a tech company, technology first, AI first. So my talk title is different. The audience is different. So I contextualize. So if you're just thinking I'm going to put screenshots or transcripts or videos about this, that's not enough. You have to contextualize to say, why are you a thought leader? How are you growing? What is becoming extra? And how can you contextualize that? So that's what I did. I explained this context behind this. I gave them a timeline to say, I'm not just saying I'm a thought leader, I'm a leader outside of my work. It is this journey that's portraying that to you.
Awesome. Awesome. We have a question and we have an AI in the house already. All right. In your experience, what distinguishes a truly globally talented individual from a highly skilled one in the context of this visa, of the global talent visa?
Context,
Yeah.
context, context. Same as LLM, same as visa, same as everything else, because it is the context you create that is important. Now, recapping, right? I worked in the US for a company that that was billing telecom carriers. So if you as a Virgin Mobile customer made a call to an AT&T customer, Virgin Mobile and AT&T build each other, right? So that was the product I worked there. Can I just slap that on and said, I was the first BI, product manager. I built a product. I made BI, build dashboard solutions architect, and hence give me a visa. No. The point was to say, what did I do there? What new bets did I take there? And how can I contextualize that for the UK? So in my example in the UK, I had researched all the UK companies who were doing something similar. And I could say that, look, over the top is going to become a huge play. Netflix and so on and so forth are going to be a big play. The shift is going to move from calls to data. I've already seen that shift in the US. So if I got a chance for this visa, and if I could not get any other employment, I would work, using my skill set to go find jobs in these new companies, show them the shift that's happening in the US and make them ready for the shift and transfer here. Or if I couldn't get a full-time gig, I would love to be a consultant. I would love to form a company, help them grow in that space. That is the point. So I was skilled. That was not the point of it. I needed to be globally talented. And that was my application to say, because I was able to contextualize, I am good enough to contextualize for the UK. And this is how I'll grow the UK economy. Remember, spoon feed them. You do the hard work. You do the research to contextualize to say why my job matters to the UK. Sure, get the ideas from the LLM. But as you know, it'll hallucinate 10 times out of 9. 9 times out of 10, sorry. But you can't use that. And they'll find out. So use it for ideas, but do your own research to say, okay, in this example, which are the 5 UK companies who are doing that, who are facing the challenge? Who is not ready for data over voice? Where is the infrastructure? Where is the hardware? Where is the software for it? Who's doing that? Maybe some more people are, maybe some people are not. Oh, I can help them. But that was just one application of my job. Before that, I had worked for a M&A brokerage firm. We were a broker who used to help companies sell themselves to buyers. And I had built an AI around it. So I said, plan 2 was, because I had done it in the US and had built AI-based tools for sellers and buyers to find insights into their deals and to their companies, I could do something like that here in the UK. And which companies did I have? I had 4 or 5 companies in mind. So I wrote to say, look, I will go find opportunities there to grow their business, or I'll form a company to productize what I had learned and help them. And one thing I must repeat, productizing is important. Your pitch can't be consulting. Nobody gives you a visa for that. Because consulting means personalization, means no scale. They want scale. They want people who can do few things and help scale their impact beyond themselves. Because consulting you needs you in the room. Products doesn't need you in the room. Products succeed when you go to sleep. Products succeed when you're on a holiday. So they need that. So the framing was, I will build products that will help them gain the benefits without me being in the room. So, yes, it seems easy. 30 days, how hard could it be? But man, every sentence I wrote, everything I wrote in there took a lot of effort. And it made sure, like I said, that's why I got the visa in close to, 26 hours, 30 hours, because there's nothing to, be suspicious about, because I had put in the effort to say this is what I've done. So you put in the effort. You put in the effort. You contextualize and leave no stone unturned. If you're happy with your visa, first time you write it, you're not happy. You're not going to like it. You're not good enough. Takes about 2 or 3 times. Edit it. Be critical. Critique it. Find holes in it. Find angles from every other point. Use LLM. Use your friend. I use my friends extensively to say poke holes in this. Right? And then they helped me figure out to say, okay, this is the way to write the application, contextualize, and that I think helped me get the visa.
You have spoken extensively, right? And I want to take you, because you touched on it, using your friends. I want to take you to your network, right? Because you said 30% was on your referrals, the reference letters. So I want to take you to your network. How did you leverage your network on your journey to applying for this visa?
So, I made a list of people whom I think I will contact and why they will be important to me and what aspect of my work will they refer to. Whoever could speak, I could figure out to the most dollar impact I've had was the candidate for it. For example, this interlink, this M&A brokerage thing I did was innovative and new, right? First time anybody had done this. So I knew I had to go for it. And this, the first company in the US I worked for, I knew I had to approach the CEO because it builds my credibility. Then I knew I had to take someone from Microsoft because it was my most recent job. So those were taken care of, right? But the question became, can they talk to my impact? Of course they could because I've done the work, right? So that was easy. The harder part for me was when I couldn't, some aspects, some projects, some products I built, I couldn't show the revenue directly because it was, sensitive private company material. I chose to use some people again as evidence. Then the question became, say, I have, worked on 6 products at a time. Of course, I can't, prove all 6, right? 3 I could prove, they were my recommendation. 3 I could not prove. So I use 3 people again. So I use overall 6 people as my evidence, 3 for recommendations, and 3 as mandatory criteria. How did I choose them? They should have a public profile. They should be verifiably awesome, meaning if you or somebody else went to the LinkedIn profile, see what they did, they should be able to defend themselves. The LinkedIn profile should be defendable and should be public. They should have tweeted, posted, being active on LinkedIn to some extent. And then they can verify that this person is indeed who they are and not a bot and are human and they have done the work they did. So first was impact, second was a public profile, and third was where I could use them. Those are the criteria I made.
Awesome. Awesome. Let me just speak to the audience. One of the reasons why when we invite speakers, we don't take 30 minutes to ask to read their profile, right, is because we don't want to get you intimidated. We want you to see this speaker as someone that is walking the path that you're currently walking, right? Deepak has, as you can see, if we read his profile, you might have said, oh, he's up there, right? But he has broken it down, contest by contest, trying to give you what I say framework that you can use in building your own case, right? And that is important. That is important, and I hope everybody on the call is getting something out of this and taking notes. I will want to hear from you. I want you to ask question. I saw another question on the chat now. We want you to ask questions to be able to unpack some of the framework that Deepak has and that he's sharing on at the moment. So we have a question. Hi Deepak, my name is Chinyere and I'm glad you made this point. I'm a data scientist with a master's degree in data science with expertise in AI and natural language programming. I have currently co-authored 2 published scientific papers, although not on reputational journals, and currently working on a first authored paper that identifies, if I got it right, undervalued football players through NLP based news analysis, which will be submitted on a Q1 journal. Springer Applied Intelligence. What are my chances if the paper is peer reviewed and accepted, but I don't get to speak in a conference as a journal, as journals are not conferences? I mean, does not speaking in a conference negatively affect my chances? So I think this person is. I'm currently a graduate undergraduate in the UK. By the way, I think this person is talking about the recognition, optional criteria on recognition. Right, he has written 2 journals, but he's not on the reputational list of journals. He has published papers on 2 of those journals, and he has one coming up in Q1. Right, but his chances are, his question is, what are my chances if all I have is having something published in a journal and not having to be a no speaker or a key speaker in a tech conference as part of his criteria?
Look, I'm the ambassador for the visa globally, so I can't speak to chances. That's not my job.
Mhm.
And there's somebody else. So just to be clear, I've never reviewed any visa in my life to say yes or no. And they will not let me because mine is a public profile. My profile is to be out there in the world talking about the visa. So they will never let anybody who's public facing like me, we have about 14 ambassadors, review the visa. All we can tell you is how we think about it, right? So I'll say the same thing to Chennai to say, what is the point of the paper? Is there any impact? And to back to Moody's point, if you can't say commercial impact, in research circles, they talk about citations. Was the paper cited enough as fundamentally important to something else, right? That is your measure. That's the closest measure of success you can get, right? If there are citations, people will call you and you have an attractive enough paper title to say, hey, I'm going to do something unconventional. I'm going to use AI for a direct commercial public impact, right? One of the harder things about AI is you talking English. You're explaining your work with an visible impact to people because I've seen 10 papers on optimizing KV cache. Yes, we know what it means. It's important KV cache, but I don't think my wife would care, right? There's a joke around to say, when my friend told his parents he's joining NVIDIA, they thought he's joining Nivea, the moisturizing company, right? So the point I'm making is, it is your job to contextualize why what you're doing is important. That should be your focus and not deciding, is my public profile, a reputable conference or not. Now, between reputable and non-reputable journals, of course you should do reputable journals. Why would you better 2 great work pieces than 10 average pieces? Why would you do that? Because that's what we look for. And the competition is so hard and insane. People from all over the world are applying. People with PhDs, people with graduate degrees are applying for this visa, and they are publishing in reputed journals. So why would you do that? So my recommendation would be to take a beat, right? I did not apply for the visa the day I landed. I came June 2018. I worked until April 20. Then I went to another job. Then I applied in November 2020. I took 2 years to apply because I had to build a body of work at Microsoft and justify my job. What's the hurry? Be awesome. Be awesome, show impact, do repeated work, and contextualize. Hurry doesn't solve anything. You're meant to get what you're meant to get. You'll get it eventually. It's just that making sure you've done the right work and the right focus to achieve the outcomes. So for you, your proxies are citations. Your proxies are how many other papers, how many other people in the community have referred to your paper, and how are they referring you to other communities and other journals to come and speak about it. And while you wait for these big, awesome conferences to happen, start speaking wherever you are. Be an influencer. Go speak about your work, tell people about what you're doing, and build a reputation. So maybe you speak at small conferences. A bunch of small conferences leads to a big conference, lead to collaboration. Start somewhere. Start somewhere.
Thank you. That is important. Something to mention, Deepak, some of the rules have changed a bit. So the additional letters when you're building your case now is not considered as part of an evidence anymore. You have to provide evidences to show that you did the work, right? So
Yeah.
just wanted to point that out. But everything you've said is spot on. Everything you said is absolutely spot on. The next question we have, I'm just going to address that. Right. A senior software and full stack engineer with 7 years experience in fintech, blockchain, and AI and trading system. You're asking which countries and visa routes would you recommend for someone with my profile? Right. First of all, we haven't seen your profile. Right. We don't advise on which country you should apply to because we think that is a decision solely only you can make, right? Because you need to be able to come to terms with the fact that you want to go to a place. However, we can recommend to you, we can suggest to you, check out your profile against the Global Talent Visa for the UK, right? That is what we can suggest to you, but we'll ask you to do your due diligence. Make sure you go to it used to be the Technician website. Now you can go to gov.uk. All of the requirements for the visas are there. Read it, make sure you understand them, and you can apply against them. There are other countries that offer similar visa type or similar visa opportunity, right? Because we are talking about the Global Talent Visa today, we'll suggest that to you. But it's absolutely a decision that you have to make yourself, right? Because like Deepak has said, it will require you to do some work. It will require you to do some searches. It will require you to, um, you know, leverage your relationship. So you don't want to take all of this work off a recommendation. You want to be sure that this is really what you want to do. It's like think about building a startup, right? It takes a lot of work, right? And you have to, decide in your heart that okay, I want to do this. So that passion alone is not enough. You have to be disciplined. You have to be dedicated, and you have to stick to the process till you get to the finish line. All right, we are racing and it's close to the end of our conversation today. So if you have a question, this is the time you want to share that. While we wait for your question, I'm just going to ask Deepak. You've been in the UK for a long minute and a half now, right? It's a good opportunity for you to tell us about the UK tech ecosystem. How did you find it when you got in? And where is it at as at today? The UK tech ecosystem. And did you find it easy because you've lived in the US? Did you find it easy to, integrate? Because that's something that people are worried about. Am I able to integrate? Will the lifestyle fit me? The UK can be very conservative, all of those. What can you speak to living in the UK and settling in the UK?
That's a whole philosophical question to it. There's a moral and ethical question to it. So I'll save that for a philosophical debate. But I'll tell you what so I got the job for Microsoft in the US, and this is what I'm going to tell you now is what my boss said to me about moving to London. So he's like, Deepak, Seattle, Microsoft, London, Microsoft, same weather. Seattle has more snow, London has more rain. But for the chance to see Europe, come to London. That's it. That was his pitch. And I'm here. Otherwise, I would have stayed back there, right? Now, as soon as I came, I applied the visa, I got the visa, I could roam around, COVID hit. So I didn't get a chance to see Europe much. And now I am, right? So definitely the beauty of UK, the access you have to the whole Europe ecosystem is fantastic. Like I said to you, because I'm a British citizen now, I get consulting offers, I get product offers speak out opportunities everywhere in the world like I've never gotten before. Europe is a train right away. Yeah. And the whole world is my oyster. So this definitely gives you context and a hook into the ecosystem of the world, unlike others. Like I said to you, because I'm here now, I'm closer to the Gulf region. So a lot of opportunities come from there. They come to British people first because of the location, then goes to the US. So I definitely am benefiting from it. The education system is fantastic. My son goes to a grammar school here. We love it. We love the education system. We are from India. India is one of the hardest education systems. I've heard the same things about Nigeria and other places as well. Education system is great, right? It's a very, very systematic, disciplined, law-abiding country. I'll tell you a latest example, not relevant to the visa, but how I live here, right? 3 years, 3 days in a row, my internet connectivity dropped. And I complained to the provider to say it dropped. Fourth day, automatically they send me an email saying, because you've complained thrice and because the internet was down, you can leave the contract without paying termination fee. Otherwise, I have to pay 200 pounds for it, right? You would not get that in the US. Definitely won't get it in India. So if you want to not be bothered about operational hassle, not be bothered about spending 10 hours, 5 hours a day figuring out the operational stuff around how you live, this is the place to be, right? I typically don't have to think about my taxes and my bills and so on and so forth. They're automated and they're just done, right? And the law system is fairly straightforward. I'm benefiting from it, so I love it. Yes, the taxes are high, but also fantastic education is free, right? And I'll give you one more insight, Moody. I mean, I love to talk about it, right? Because I can compare to the US to the UK. The most attractive thing for me to remain in the UK, because I now get offers from all over the world, is because the education system is both better and faster compared to India and the US. For example, for an undergrad degree here, it takes 3 years. It's 4 years in India and 4 years in the US. So you save a year. A master's degree here is 1 year. Master's degree in India or US is 2 years. So you save a year again. A PhD here is 4 years. A PhD in India or US is 6 years. So if you did undergrad, master's, and PhD, you would do that in 8 years here. You would take to 12 years in both places. So what it means is you're out faster, you're earning money much faster than anybody else. Now, how does that benefit? When at JP Morgan we used to hire researchers, people would see that they were so young. So they were shocked by how young they were, but they were surprised by how smart they were. This is the UK education system. It is really tough, really hard. It's cutting edge. It helps you be on the forefront what they are because they know attracting immigrants is the first thing, but helping them stay back and thrive is the main thing. Because then why am I here? Why did I move to India? Why did I move to the US? I had empty opportunities because I could not get such fantastic education for free. US there is too, but it's in very small pockets. India is much, much harder and much more expensive. So quality of life, quality of education, opportunities, that's the reason we are here. That's the reason we're staying back.
I couldn't have put it close to how you put it, and this is the best we've heard in from any speaker in summarizing their stay in the UK and the benefit of remaining in the UK. So thank you, Deepak. This has been amazing. Thank you for your time this evening. We would ask you, are you building any project? Do you need testers?
Yeah,
Do
yeah,
you
yeah.
need so talk about your project?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I've now found my company, Transform with AI. I do AI. So I help everyone transform their work, their business, their personal lives with AI. So, if you need help, tips and tricks to increase your own personal impact with AI, I can help. If your organization is needing help with AI, I'll help. I can help. And I'm, very keen on education. If I could dedicate my life to education, that would be it for me. So, tips and tricks about education, about finding good schools, great schools. I'll help emigrate. I'll help as a parent as well. But yeah, so that's what Transform with AI is the company. I'm on LinkedIn. If you need any help, happy to chat. But yeah, I love the work you guys are doing. You're sowing the seeds for some people to come over here and build their futures and careers. I wish eMigr8 the very best. But he's a dear friend. Happy that he's doing so well and he's doing this service. And all the best to all the participants. Hope you succeed. Uh, be patient, right? Rome was not built in a day. It is not easy to build some profile, very quickly. Take your time, be patient, but do not lower your bar. Your bar must be awesome because you may be awesome where you are, no question about it. But then contextualize. If you're not awesome, be awesome, become awesome. And if you do, this country gives you 5x, the opportunity to 5x it, unlike any other country, maybe the US, but definitely this place, right? So if you're awesome, contextualize. If you're not awesome, put the work, make yourself awesome, and then come here for the opportunity it provides you.
Transform with transform with AI. What is the URL? Is it transform with, yeah?
I just performed it 2 days ago. The AI is the
All
URL
right.
is not live
So
yet.
when you have it, please
Yeah,
do
yeah, we'll
send
do
it
that.
through, buddy.
That's such a poor job. I know,
Uh,
but I had this session. I should have done this before. But
no, no, it's
man,
fine. It's no pressure, no
yeah,
pressure.
yeah. But I have on WhatsApp. I have a username on WhatsApp called Transform with AI. That's me.
Okay,
Reach out. So I'm figuring out. Look, if you do the usual things, you land in usual places. You must do the unusual things, right?
true.
So for me, like I said, it's better Nudie asks me for the URL himself rather than me
Mhm.
tricking him to asking it. Because I hopefully have planted the seed of value in his head before I have to beg him to do it. And you'd
Yeah,
rather want that. You'd rather want your work to speak for yourself, and then people come and ask you, hey, where's your website? Where's your company? Because that is a validation of who you are, right? But if I start selling my company right away, he'll be turned off to say, man, he talks before he can even prove
yeah,
himself.
it's fine. We want you to sell your company. You've given us enough
No, thank you.
value.
Appreciate
You've
that.
given
But
us
man, I
enough
tell
values.
you, the laziness on me, nothing else. But thank you
No,
for that. Thank
it's
you for that.
fantastic. It's fantastic. Thank you. We are so glad that we have you in our ecosystem, and we will be reaching out from time to time. There are a couple of people that would need your services. We'll be happy to recommend them to you. Also, many are on this call. Many will watch the replay. All right. So, thank you very much. You can see the appreciation from the chats. Right. This has been such a fantastic conversation. We would not hold you any longer. I will. You can take your leave now, which is
I
fine.
stay
Right.
longer. You're going to hear my tummy grumble with hunger. So it's good for everybody else that I have dinner and go to bed. But I've enjoyed being here. Hopefully, it helps someone and it's paying forward. So many technician alumni helped me. So
Yeah.
many people helped me in the visa. It takes a village. And they
Yeah.
didn't ask me money. They just gave me feedback. And I'm grateful for that. And I am friends with them. I have, I'm not from a great school in India. I am not, but I teach at London Business School, right? And I asked the prof at London Business School where I teach to say, hey, I want to study. The guy was like, you're an idiot. You're good enough to be a teacher. Why you want to study? That confidence you can only get by seeking help and giving help where you can, which is what we're doing today. So don't be
Yeah.
shy, everyone. Seek help when you need, but have first the skill set and the work done behind the scenes to justify being there and asking help or giving help. Paying it forward always helps.
Yeah. Fantastic. That's all we're trying to do here. Pay it forward with our community, and try to help as much people as we can. And we've helped quite a number over the years. Thank you very much once again, and do have a lovely rest of your evening. Right. For the rest of the participants, I would continue, and I will just share some housekeeping, some information that you can use. Right.
Lovely. Lovely. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thank you, Deepak.
Thank you.
All right. So that was an interesting session. I saw one more question. I just saw it. How long? Thanks for my response. Next question is: does it take up to 1 to 2 years to fully prepare for the global talent? It takes as long as you want it to take. In terms of the work you want to do. Deepak was able to apply in 1 month, but the truth is he had built um, his evidence over a long period of time. So it can take up to 2 years, up to 3 years, up to 4 years, depend on how long you are willing to invest in the process. So what we tell people is don't worry about how long it's going to take, right? Just put in the work, let the work speak, and you will get the endorsement before long, right? So that's something that I would give you as feedback. Don't be um, bothered too much about how long it will take, right? Share more about. Oh, I'm connecting to the wrong one. Share more about how long, the depth of the work that you're going to do that you're doing in that period of time. All right. Thank you very much. So if you are still on the chat, you have just won for yourself a um 10-minute coaching session. Right. So if you go to any of our if you join any of our community, I should say, right, just say I was part of the August 19th open day session, right, and the administrator would give you access and put you on the diary to book a 10-minute coaching session with our coach. Before you come to those sessions, we usually advise that you take some time to read about the visa that you're interested in and come to those questions. We come to those sessions with questions that you really want to unpack, not just or which visa should I apply for. Then you want to get a lot of value from this session. But if you have read, if you have studied the visa type, the various visas opportunity, right, then when you come to the session, you're asking questions to say, all right, I was on this visa opportunity, so what can I do next? Right. And this is what I'm looking at. This is what I'm looking at. So it helps the advisor or the coach to give you informations that you can use. Right. So please don't hesitate to join our session, to join our community. The links to join the communities are in the chats. So if you can scroll up, you will see the links to join the community. Also, this is if you look at the screen, right, we also have the community link, just simple beacom.net/. Emigrate community WhatsApp. We ask that when you join, you do respect every other person in the community, engage respectfully, like, share, comment. We like you to be interactive. We don't hold anybody back. So please share your thoughts. You might have the experience, the knowledge that somebody else in the team or in the group needs. So everyone is a leader there. So do use that opportunity to connect and not just connect, but also use it to share information, right? If you're looking for where to find us, like I said in the beginning, we are in your phone. So if you go to your App Store or your Google Play Store, you can download our app. We do have a promo running. If you use the app for 7 straight days, right, which is a week, you will win yourself free coaching session. So you unlock a free coaching session for you. We also have promo running. If you refer a friend who is applying for any of our visas opportunity, you will get a referral bonus. Terms and conditions always do apply, right? But for the free streak, 7 days of use of the app, once you clock 7 days in the app consistently, right? 7 consistent days, you get the you will get the notification that you have unlocked. You'll get a free coaching session, right? What do we do in eMigr8? Like I said, we are a tech-enabled platform. We are leveraging both human experts and AI experts. AI for tech mobility, relocation, and settlement. And how does that start? It starts with a plan, right? We can design a roadmap for you with settlement as the North Star, right? And that roadmap will capture how to qualify, things to get involved with, exercises to partake in to qualify, right? It might take a month, it might take 6 months, it might take 2 years, depend on your pace. And once you're qualified, you apply and you get endorsed. When you are endorsed, moving to the UK is next on the board. But once you move to the UK, you have to settle in the UK. You have to be introduced to communities. You have to be introduced to, some people have to be introduced to the startup community, for example, because they want to start up their own idea. Like Deepak, who has started his own business now, right? You want to have your own startup. Some people want to get a job, so you want introduction to recruiters, right? And once that is done, or even settling down as to where do I live? Do you want to live in Manchester? Do you want to live in Liverpool? Do you want to live in London, or do you want to live in Newcastle? All those are informations you will need, to settle in well. And once you are settled, the next thing is for you to thrive in the UK, just like Deepak, the coach for today, is already thriving within the UK. So that whole experience, we have a human expert that can walk you through it, and we also have an AI coach that you can leverage. Now, the question you might have is, why emigrate? Right? We leverage AI, right? And we personalize your experience, right? We give you insights that you can use, which these are real-time insights, right? And updates as the informations are coming through from home office or from the endorsing body. We are updating our communities with this information. One of those information, like I shared on the call, is that they don't longer, they don't consider a letter as part of your evidence anymore. You just your reference is your reference, but when you're submitting your mandatory criteria, you cannot use a letter from your um, project lead or CEO or CFO or CTO as part of your evidence anymore. That's not being considered as a piece of evidence. So you now have to show your actual work and evidence them through a third party kind of evidence. So somebody else has to have written about your work, or have to have referenced your work, or cited your work. So these are some of the changes that have been introduced over the year, and many of them we will share with you as you come through our platforms. It's a seamless experience for us, and we are inviting you to go global with eMigr8 AI. One of the things eMigr8.ai. One of the things that I'm so proud of is our ecosystem, right? And our ecosystem has partners that you can work with. So one of the things is when you're looking at preparation, we're just giving you information today. We've given you education today. We have loads of information and education on our app, right? We have a roadmap session, right? We have a pre-incubator for those that have startup businesses that are looking at, okay, I want to pre-incubate, I want to even incubate this idea. We have partners that can drive that for you. If you're looking to learn a new language, double down on the language you are using today. Maybe you're a junior developer, you want to double down, become a full stack developer. We have partners who drive training within tech ecosystems. If you're looking to get into any boot camp, we have boot camp partners, that are partnering with eMigr8. So for me, the ecosystem is so rich that whatever you're looking for within tech, we can plug you onto it. We can introduce you to accelerator programs. We have coaches on our platform. We have mentors on our platform. And also, if you're looking for immigration lawyers, immigration consultants, just to check in with to verify these information that we have given you, if they are really true from a legal perspective, we can recommend you a lawyer also. And all of these exist within the eMigr8 partnership or partners ecosystem. And this has been put together to help your journey, right? This has been put together to help your journey. So I invite you to leverage it, to take advantage of it, right, and use it. And don't keep quiet when you're using it. Please tell a friend, tell your colleagues, and I'll just speak to some of the partners we do have. In terms of training, if you're looking to upskill, right, Income Dev Center is one place you want to go to. In terms of building your tech talents, building a tech startup, and enhancing your tech talent. Income Dev Center is a hub, it's a tech hub for everything when it comes to technology. So including training, incubating an idea, like this one, which is the Bincom Dev Center, Labs by Bincom. It's a service that is offered by Bincom Dev Center. The Lab by Bincom is a product-led digital technology that helps you build products, I'll take that again. Last by income, help you build a product-led digital technology with your team, right? When Deepak was speaking, he spoke about the fact that you have to speak to product because product can scale, right? Productizing can scale. If you are a trainer, if you are a consultant, you probably are consulting one person at a time, one organization at a time, and you have to physically be present to consult. You can't really scale that. All right. The UK is looking for people that have built products and build product at scale also, or product that is scaling, which you can track how many downloads you have, how many people are interacting with your product on a day-to-day basis, can measure growth month on month and things like that. So Last by Bincom is a 3 to 6 months program where you team up with 3 to 10 other co-founders um, or team members or cohorts, and you can build from scratch an idea. And this idea can be added to your portfolio of product that you've built. You are building the idea from inception, from ideation actually, to go to market and to scale, right? And these would happen in 3 to 6 months. So it's a very fantastic opportunity. I ask that if you are looking for a job within the UK, if you're looking for any of the visa opportunity, product is something that will always come up. What product have you worked on? What product have you invested your time in? All right. So it is a practical program and it's an opportunity for you to improve your career and your portfolio. Right. So if you go to bincom.net/labs, right, it is you'll find all the information you need there and you can sign up for the next cohort. Right. It's a premium service, just so you know, but it is recommended. I cannot recommend it enough for you. Right? We have direct successes, we have indirect successes. Our coaches, our mentors have successes within our platform, and I ask that take advantage of these. We speak to startup visas, we speak to talent, and I've talked about this before. And our goal is to make sure you're globally attractive. Right. And that's our goal. Now, if you are thinking, oh, what is the benefit of a tech visa? I don't need to say anything more because Deepak has spent a lot of time telling us the benefits of moving to the UK and leveraging the tech visa. But it allows you a straight path to settlement. There's no hanky packing, it's straightforward. It gives you most of the tech visas, especially the global talent visa, gives you an opportunity to move with your family. It's beginner friendly, so you can start now and plan a roadmap, for a year, for 2 years, for 6 months, for 3 years, as the case may be, and you can get it right. And the list of the benefits is not is there. You can Google it. You can check. It's a good standard visa for the UK. One of the best visas that you can find in terms of giving you access immediately you land in the UK, and it gives you, I think, one of the shortest time to indefinite leave to remain, which is 3 years for exceptional talent and 5 years for exceptional promise. We do have documentations, articles on our platform. So if you are on our app, please read through the eMigr8 Tech visa landscape. Some of the changes that have been introduced over the years have been updated through the eMigr8 visa landscape. What is changing? What is new? What is coming? And you can predict the future by checking what has been done in the past, right? So we are excited to bring this to you, but we are more excited to see you take advantage of this opportunity. And to take advantage of the opportunity, you can send us a message to any of the numbers you find on this slide, right? And we would be in touch with you. If you think you can do it yourself, it is fantastic. Come into our ecosystem. There are informations that you can leverage to do it yourself. If you need a coach to work with you, it is also amazing. Come into our ecosystem and let us know, and we would assign a coach to work with you through your journey. Right. So that has been our presentation for the month of August. We'll continue the conversation in our communities. So if you have not joined the communities, please click the link to join any of the communities. We'll continue the conversation. If you have questions, please do ask in the communities. We will continue from there. We have the link to join the Last by Bincom on the chat also. So if you're interested in that, do use that link to join the community and leverage it last by income. I can't recommend it enough. You cannot have too many products on your portfolio. So build as much as you can, invest as much as you can in building products because it will come in handy. If not for global talent, even recruiters are looking at your portfolio and the US O1 visa, the Canada startup visa, all of the visas that Leverage Tech will want to understand what have you built in the past. And Deepak talked about contest. This will help you to set the right contest, right? This will help you to set the right contest. The more product you have, the more contest you can set, as the case may be. So thank you very much, everybody. Hope this has been useful. We ask that if it has been useful, do pay it forward. Do share this information with someone else. All right. I'll be back in the month of September for another edition of the eMigr8 Open Day. Till then, take care of yourself and use the information that we've shared today. Thank you very much. Do have a good evening.